Okay, thanks for coming to this channel. So, hey, we're going to talk more about, kind of piggybacking onto my story about the visitation dream I had when my dad visited me from the afterlife. If you haven't seen that, check out my other channel, Dr. Andrea O'Connor. It's on that channel. But I was going to talk about more of the famous people that have also had visitation dreams, because I'm not alone. Maybe you've had one too. So I talked about Carl Jung, Elvis Presley, Queen Victoria. Well, if you guys remember Dionne Warwick, do you remember that singer? And wasn't she Whitney Houston's grandmother, right? She described a dream in which her deceased grandfather came and appeared to her. He delivered her a very specific message, and she interpreted it as he gave me some life and career advice that she ended up following and became the famous singer that she is, right? Or was, because I remember her from the 80s. I remember a lot of her songs. I thought that was interesting. Now, modern times, Lady Gaga, she even talked about a visitation dream featuring her Aunt Joanne, which she said inspired the name of her album, Joanne. And she said that this dream with her aunt felt like a really meaningful spiritual interaction. Which, yes, I get it. Like, when I had that dream with my dad coming to visit me, it was so real. It wasn't a dream, and it wasn't a lucid dream, because I've had those too, which are amazingly real. This was completely different. And that's how, that's kind of how you know that this is something different. So a member of the Grateful Dead, Bob Weir, he mentioned in a 2020 interview that Jerry Garcia, his late bandmate, of course, visited him in a dream. He said that Jerry Garcia introduced a jazz ballad they were going to work on together, which Weir found profoundly vivid and inspiring, and inspired more work from him. Isn't that awesome? So there are so many other stories like this. I mean, they're vivid, they're emotionally intense, they're purposeful, and they have a lasting impact. And I'll tell you what, the experience that I had was that my guilt was relieved. The guilt that I wasn't at my dad's bedside when he passed away, and I always felt really bad about that. You know, my sister was there, and then, we had arguments about that, because just a lot of guilt behind it all. And I tell you what, after that visitation dream, all guilt gone, completely comforted. And I tell you, I know in my heart of hearts that that was a real visitation dream, but I feel like there's possibilities that people think this is coming from our own brains, just trying to heal us. And yeah, I mean, I'll admit that is a possibility for some people, but I know it was my dad. It was his personality. I could feel him. I could smell him. Everything was real. How is that different than the reality we're experiencing here? Like, I'm touching things, I'm smelling things right now. How is that any different from what I experienced when everything was so real there on the other side? And I do believe our consciousness, or soul, if you will, or just kind of like that silver cord, right, can travel to other dimensions, one of those being the afterlife. And I think that is a way they can communicate with us if we're not, given the gift of the ability to really sense things more than, other people have the ability. You can connect to your loved ones through dreams. And I would just love to hear if you guys have had something similar like that. I know Elvis Presley used to talk about his mother a lot. Again, on my other video, I said that his mother Gladys came to him in a dream, and when he was having a hard time, brought him a lot of comfort and advice as well. And he loved his mother so much. But I never knew that he had this visitation dream as well. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Paul McCartney, right? The Beatles legend. We all know Paul McCartney. He described a dream where his late mother, Mary, appeared to him in this very vivid, memorable dream. This was in the 1960s. And get this. This is wild. She spoke the words in the dream, "Let it be." right? That inspired that iconic song, Let It Be. Can you believe that? Came to him in a dream from his own mother, right? If you're familiar with the actress Jennifer Lawrence, she has said in interviews she has had vivid dreams of her deceased grandmother, and felt very reassured. She got some closure after that. How amazing. Oprah Winfrey spoke about a dream in which her deceased mother, Vernita Lee, appeared to her in an amazing, real visitation dream. And Oprah even said the experience was profoundly real. And that's what I keep talking about. These visitation dreams are so real. Like, how do you discern it from the reality we're having now? Maybe when we're on the other side, all this is very dreamlike. This is but a dream. And the real reality is on the other side, right? So she said that her mother offered her a lot of love and reassurance. And she said it really helped her process her grief, helped her heal. So I've talked about Sting before on my other channel about his videos. So he did have a dream where his late father appeared to him as well. They engaged in an actual conversation, kind of like what I had with my dad with his visitation dream. I talked to my dad there on that marble white park bench with white all around us. And he was saying how happy he was. He was having a good time. He was full of joy. He was laughing. And he's like, everything's fine. Like, don't worry. It's all fine. And I love you. And it was just like, it was like I was interrupting him from a great party. And it's wild because I haven't had one since. He probably went back to the party, back with his friends and family. But Sting said that he had this long conversation with his late father. And he said that this conversation resolved all the lingering emotional tensions that he had from his relationship that he had with his father. And he said it was such a vivid, healing experience, like such a real dream experience. Isn't that wild? Have you had that? Have you had a visitation dream like this? Or have other people talked about that with you? You know, this is something we don't talk enough about, I don't think. So Celine Dion, right? You guys know the Titanic singer. She even talked about a dream where her late husband, Rene, appeared to her after his death in 2016. She described a very comforting dream. She said there was even a moment where he reassured her in this very vivid dream about she needs to move forward. She needs to go on in life. And she said it felt like a very genuine connection she had with her late husband. Johnny Cash even mentioned having a vivid dream of his late brother, Jack. Jack, I guess, died in a tragic accident when Johnny Cash was really young. And in the dream, his brother Jack came to him and offered words of encouragement to Johnny Cash. And Johnny Cash said it just relieved all his lifelong grief, and that he had this spiritual visit with his brother. So Gladys was Elvis's mother's name, but did you know Marilyn Monroe's mother was also named Gladys? And Gladys came to Marilyn Monroe in a dream as well, just like Elvis. Marilyn Monroe said in her personal notes about a very vivid dream she had with her deceased mother, Gladys. And that in the dream, her mother just appeared to her right in front of her and, talked to her, gave her advice. And Marilyn said that all this unresolved grief and longing was also healed through this dream, right? We're hearing the same thing over and over again. So it's either your deceased loved ones, like your relatives, coming to heal you and make you feel better, or we're all having the same psychological experience. What do you think? Do you think it's psychological? Do you think it's spiritual? So down below, say psychological or spirit, so I know which side we're on. We'll have like a little vote here. So yeah, there's a couple more people. Robin Williams, right? Poor Robin Williams, right? Before his passing, he said in a 2006 interview that he had a dream. He had a visitation dream with his late father. And his late father, his name was Robert, and he, in this vivid dream, expressed all the pride and how proud he was of his comedic career that Robin Williams had. And Robin Williams said The dream was unusually vivid, right? That's the theme that all these people say, unusually vivid and emotionally uplifting and healing. What a gift from the other side. I know when I met with my dad on that bench in this unusually vivid dream that I had, that guilt I had for not being in the hospital room, not being by his side, that was gone. That was gone. That was healed. So I'd love to hear your comments below if you've had an experience like that, because how amazing, right? Hey, thanks for joining me on this other channel. We'll do, if I have time later tonight, I'll try to do live on this channel tonight, but if not, we'll move it to the weekend. And that way I can see your comments live and we can kind of discuss your stories at will. So I hope I can do that tonight. If not, meet me this weekend. We'll do it this weekend. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for being here. And subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet, okay? Thanks, guys. See you on the next one.